Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Tiffany and this is my YouTube channel. So I want to take a minute to remind everyone to scroll down and subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I used to upload 3 times a week. As of late, I have not been on YouTube just because this month is insane. December has been 100% insane and unpredictable, and I just haven't had time to film. I have been extremely tired. I haven't found anything that has really inspired me and made me want to make a video. So I have been kind of off YouTube for this month. But one of my New Year's resolutions is to get back into it and get back on YouTube and get more into a routine, because I know how many people love videos and I don't have a lot of subscribers, but for those of you who do subscribe, I feel bad just like not being around for you guys, so I will get back into it. But today's video is going to be about this NYC Smooth Skin Foundation. I have been using this. This is not like a first impressions type of video. This is something like a full-on review. I've been using it for an entire month. All throughout December I've been using this. So, I've really never heard anybody speak about a lot of the NYC products. They're extremely affordable, much like e.l.f. and Wet n Wild, but I know it's not something that a lot of people reach towards. So, yeah, I just wanted to like do a little review about something of theirs that I found. You can buy NYC at basically any drugstore, I think. I got this at Walmart. I know you can buy it at Target. So, I mean, just based on that, I'm pretty sure you can buy it at any drugstore. But, I'm not entirely sure exactly how expensive this foundation was. It's the Smooth Skin. My guess, I will, like, boom, insert price here. But I think it was, like, $7.99 or $8.99. You know, kind of about the same range as a lot of the drugstore foundations are. But like I said, I'm not entirely sure off the top of my mind. But, excuse the, like, kind of wet and frizzy hair. Today is my day off, and I wanted to give my hair a break from the heat because it's been quite tortured as of late. So, yeah, everybody just needs to, like, give their hair a break for a minute or two, and so today is that day for me. But what I want to do is kind of like talk to you guys about this, and then I'll show you how I apply it, which is why I have no makeup on right now, and then we'll come back and I'll discuss about it more. But just like a little intro is that I did end up buying this just because I saw it while I was at Walmart one time and thought, I don't know, you know, I don't have a lot of new foundations, I haven't really done a review, nor have I really heard anyone talk about this stuff, so I thought I might just get it and test it out and kind of see what it is. This is in the shade 677 Regular Nude. This was the lightest shade that they had at the time when I purchased this product, and I did purchase it with the intent to make a video. So it is not a perfect match for me. It's about 1 or 2 shades too dark. I do not remember off the top of my head, because I did buy this about a month ago, if they have like spaces for lighter shades or if this was the lightest one. I highly doubt it was. I'm pretty sure they would have like a ivory shade or something like that that is a little bit lighter, which is usually what I go for. I usually go for either porcelain or ivory shades. So this one is a little bit too warm toned for me personally, and I do have really fair skin, but it gets the job done. It got the point across, and actually when I put it on down, as long as I blend it down my neck, it usually doesn't look too bad. I can usually get away with it. So yeah, like I said, this is the Smooth Skin Liquid Foundation. It says it's a natural look, long-lasting matte effect. I'll get into that more. But yeah, it says it's a lightweight, long-wearing formula that glides smoothly onto skin for a flawless finish. For all skin types, it's oil-free. Yada yada yada. It says shake well, but I mean, this is a pretty thick foundation. So I'm not sure that you could really shake it well. Nice try, NYC. Anyway, so let me get into how I apply it, and then I'll come back and give you more of my thoughts and what have you about it. So this is what it looks like. It comes with this nice little paddle. Some other foundation has this. What is it? I used to use it a few years ago. I want to say it's Revlon has a foundation. Or most of them. I think it's Revlon. Anyways, comes with this paddle that makes it nice and easy because this is a really thick foundation. You can tell it doesn't move on the paddle when you bring it out. So, I mean, a pump would be much better, NYC. Everybody loves a nice pump. But this is much better than having nothing and having to, like, somehow make it come out of the jar. But it is a nice glass jar as well. So, good. And you do get 29.5 mils, so, you know, your average amount for a nice foundation. But I just take it, I have already primed up my face, and I just sweep it on. We'll just do it in sections. And then I take my Real Techniques Expert face brush. This is my favorite way to apply this foundation, is with a brush and just buff it into my skin. I have tried it with a beauty sponge, and I don't know, I just prefer a brush in order to apply this foundation. It just, I think, has a better finish. I know some people swear by beauty blenders and beauty sponges. I don't know. For me and my skin type, I just don't think that they go on as nicely. So we will just blend all of this in. It is a nice lightweight foundation, I will say that. For the thick consistency, it's not as thick and heavy on the skin as I had thought. Just as the first impression, especially when you apply it for the first time. Kind of got way too much on the paddle that time. You can definitely like scoop with the paddle or just kind of dab. I tend to just dab. And then we'll toss it. That's nice. I totally just got it all throughout my hair. Who cares, right? But as you can kind of tell, it is a little too warm toned for my skin. It definitely makes me look darker. So, I mean, in the summer months when I have a tan on, it probably wouldn't be too bad. It'd probably be like the perfect shade during those months. But it is the middle of winter and I don't fake tan. So yeah, it's just a little too dark for me, but it does blend out smoothly. I do have two big, like, laugh lines, wrinkles, I guess, I don't know, more like laugh lines in my forehead, so it does tend to settle into those, but every foundation I've ever used does that. So will it settle into fine lines and wrinkles? I don't think so. It doesn't, like, crease under my eyes or anything like that. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it. So I'll take a little bit more. The paddle does make it nice and easy to spread out and, you know, ensure that you do have enough product everywhere. And it's a lot less messy, in my opinion. You can obviously use the paddle and put a bunch on the back of your hand if you're the person who likes to do that and dab your brush in it. You could take the paddle and just swipe it onto your brush. I just think it's a lot less messy to use the paddle and kind of just dab it onto my face like so. The only issue with the paddle, in my opinion, is once the foundation gets down to like the very bottom where a pump could just suck it up, the paddle cannot. So you might end up wasting a lot of product on the bottom. I mean, by a lot, it's probably like a week's worth. Just in my experience with other foundations that have paddles. But like I said, I'm not completely against it. So I like to build up a little bit more coverage on my nose because it tends to wear off quite a bit. And then right here on my chin, I do have some blemishes. So we're just going to build up a little bit more. This foundation is extremely buildable. I do like it for that fact. It does not cake up. It does not get patchy. I mean, it doesn't, like when you try to build a second layer, the bottom layer doesn't just tend to move around, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of foundations that I have tried to build and all you end up doing is just moving things around and it ends up getting quite patchy. So this one does not do it. It dries quite fast, which is nice. Okay, so there's what it looks like. So in my opinion, it is not a matte finish. It's like a semi-matte finish because you can still kind of like, especially right here, I mean, you can see the light reflecting off of it. It does not have issues with flashback, however. I don't believe it has SPF in it. It did not specify. So that's another reason why it doesn't have flashback. In my opinion, it needs to be set with a powder, but I also have oily skin. So for people with dry skin, it may end up being a matte finish that you don't have to set with powder. But for me, who has really oily skin, I do have to set it with a powder. But here's what it looks like. It is still kind of tacky, and it does transfer. So it doesn't tend to have that kind of issue once you set it with a powder. So just for reference, in my opinion, it is best to be set. But just off the bat, one layer gives you a nice medium coverage. I have built it up to give full coverage around my nose and a little bit kind of in the T-zone where I tend to be a little bit more oily. And I do find that it helps make it last longer. So what I'm going to do is finish off my foundation, or finish off my makeup, and then I'll come back with some final thoughts. Hey everyone, so here is what the foundation looks like with all of my makeup on. It is definitely a matte finish once you set it. So like I said before, it's definitely a semi-matte on its own, and it is quite tacky. I don't suggest just putting on the foundation and letting it sit and putting everything else on. I highly suggest setting it with any kind of powder. You can do like a full coverage powder. I've done that. It does get slightly cakey down here in my nose, but you could probably get rid of that with a setting spray, and just making sure that you focus it on those areas, and that should subdue it if you want to do like a full coverage powder. For me, I usually just use a light setting powder, like an HD powder, and I use that all over my face, and it is just fine. It also helps kind of tone down the color deficit, so that's another reason why I still tend to wear this foundation during this winter, is because with a lighter colored powder on it, it does help counteract the darker warm tones of this foundation, and I don't seem to have a problem with it. So yeah, I mean, once I've set it, it is completely dry. It does not transfer. And I really do love this foundation. It is extremely comfortable to wear. It's really easy to apply, all of that stuff that I kind of said before. And honestly, like, I don't have an issue with it wearing off, or like with some of the foundations, it seems like my blush and my highlight and my bronzer just don't seem to stay on as long. I'm not sure why. It's not necessarily that the foundation is wearing off, but I don't know, it's like those tend to kind of like just absorb into the foundation, but I don't notice it with this. I do notice, once again, I do have really oily skin. I do notice that it really starts to separate in through my T-zone and on my nose, which is where I am really oily. So by the end of my workday, like say I put this makeup on, or I put my foundation on before I go to work, usually like an hour before, and then I work 8-hour shifts, and by the time I get off, I do notice that it has really separated down here through my nose and kind of out onto my cheeks. And I do notice, like, when I was sick I was wearing this, and it comes off quite easily when I had to blow my nose and I was wiping my nose, so I didn't have any makeup here on like the side of my nose. So in that aspect, it's not going to sit through everything. I don't like blot my nose or blot my face in the middle of my work day. I don't go in and readjust with like a powder to help get rid of some of the oiliness. I don't know if you were to do that when it started getting oily, if that would help counteract how much it tends to separate on my nose. But honestly, I have never found a foundation. I have tried high-end foundations, almost every drugstore foundation. I have never found one that will not separate by the end of my work day. So if you have super oily skin and you know of a great foundation that doesn't separate along your nose, or if you have really oily skin by the end of like an 8-hour work day, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to know what it is, because I need that in my life right now. Right now. But I think this is a steal. The quality of this is a steal for the price. I highly, highly suggest it, and I will definitely continue to use this. I will make it all the way through this entire foundation because, yeah, I do really love it. It's not my favorite that I own, but I do really love it. So I highly suggest it, and I'm not exactly sure what the shade range of it is. I think it's pretty big, but yeah, I will also leave that link down below. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I will have more videos to come. And like I said, one of my New Year's resolutions is to get back on track of uploading videos on a schedule in the new year. So I promise I will get right on top of that. And I hope you guys have a lovely New Year's and stay safe. Bye!